Remember that time that Pet Simulator updated?
Because I don't!
What's going on, everyone? My name is Ethan, and today we are slowing down for a little bit, and we're going to look at the state of Pet Simulator 2. I know that a lot of the people on my channel were very excited about Pet Simulator 2 and are very disappointed with the way things are going. I've decided, and I've also been encouraged to do like an honest opinions of what's happening with the game while I just do some grinding in the background. We're also going to open a couple of the Winter Wonderland eggs at the end of the video, so if you like eggs, that's where you need to be, the end of the video. I don't know what you're doing here. Anyway, so I'm gonna grind, and I'm also gonna chat with you guys about what's going on, because I'm sure a lot of you don't know that Preston did tweet a few days ago. We got a tweet to talk about here, and honestly, I'll give my full opinion at the end in one coherent thing, but as far as I'm concerned, like, it's good, but it's bad, which doesn't make a lot of sense, so let's just get right into it. I've also never done a video like this, guys. I know there are a lot of YouTubers out there that just do, like, talking with background footage, so yeah, let's get a like for this video. Help it out, because it's definitely gonna need that help. I started working from the ground up on Pet Simulator 2 by myself back in January. I'm still working on it all by myself. Why did it take so long? Because I'm human and I have a life. I'm going to talk about all 4 of these tweets one at a time. The last tweet has got a bad word in it, and then I'm going to look at comments to the tweet. So that was on the 18th of December, which is actually yesterday for me. It feels like it was longer ago, but whatever. Obviously, Preston's feeling the squeeze of the community, and I've got to admit, like, Pet Simulator and Bubblegum Simulator definitely have the most demanding communities. When anything is not right, they squeal. It is ruthless how quickly those communities turn on their creators. It's a little bit scary, but Preston is like, dude, he's an 18-year-old guy who got lucky with his first game, you know? Like, he obviously has a lot of talent, but Pet Simulator 1, there was no guarantee that game was going to be good. It got massive, and now he's trying to build a follow-up to that while building 4 other games at the same time. I honestly feel bad for the guy. Like, people say that money is amazing, but I would not like to be in his position. There are a lot easier ways to make a lot more money than having to deal with that kind of supply and demand, which is where I sympathize with the guy. He obviously loves what he does, or he wouldn't put up with it. As for the tweet in itself, I mean, the whole thing of like, cause I'm a human and I have a life, that's really flimsy. I don't know if that was like a good thing to have in there. But as for him working on Pet Simulator 2 by himself, that I am not surprised of. That, along with Big Paintball, Giant Survival Remastered, and Build and Survive, that's 4 games, including Pet Simulator 2, that have come out this year from big games. And I know that he's working on most of that stuff on his own until he gets a developer on board, which means he's doing like, actually, it mentions it in the next tweet, so I may as well read that. I also built a massive framework from the ground up by myself. This is the same framework that powered Big Paintball, Giant Survival Remastered, and Build and Survive. I also spent an enormous amount of time on those games. So I am not educated enough to give you the full lowdown of what a framework is, but I can tell you that it is exactly what it sounds like. He's basically created a network, a ridiculously large network of triggers, events, like checks, like if player has this game pass, like if player, you know, like basically everything that runs in the background. Instead of it being individual little bits and pieces that could be picked and pulled from anywhere, he's created a framework that all work in sync with one another, and they're on a very default level, which means he can take that framework and put it into any game he wants to make, and he will understand how the events work, how the triggers work, how the game checks for things like the player's inventory, so on and so on. Roblox itself has its own framework that you can use, but because it's so broad, it is it's very effective for you to build your own smaller network of just the things that you need and the things that you know personally. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I tried to explain what the small amount that I understand. It's not a little job, and honestly, I didn't realize that he'd made a generalized framework, which means in the future, when Preston, if he ever has the time, or if he takes on other developers and teaches him his framework, big games could churn out games more efficiently, along with updates more efficiently, once they get past this first hurdle. Once there are a few people, including Preston, that know how to use the framework, everything becomes smoother, and that's probably why he's done that. He's probably made it simpler by creating this network of stuff that he understands, this framework, so that when he looks back at games, he can be like, if he hasn't touched, big paintball in 2 months, he can look at it and be like, that's my framework. I know exactly how that works. I can help with an update, which makes it more efficient down the line than it currently is. As for the generalization that Preston worked on the 3 other games, had an enormous amount of time put into those after doing the framework, that doesn't surprise me at all. I feel like he would have built the framework for all of the games originally and then built the base of most of them and then brought somebody on. I feel like there would be no sense in Preston hiring a developer with only a vision and nothing to show them, because then without a guideline, they might make a game that isn't exactly what he wants, which would then take even more time for him to go back and change things. So I feel like Preston he's got the framework. I feel like he would build the base of the game so that the theme and a lot of the stuff that he wants specifically unique to that game, the feel of the game, to already be there when somebody else starts developing on top of that. So it would be safe to say that the way that big paintball feels different to Arsenal and Phantom Forces, counter blocks and all that sort of stuff, the way the character moves, the way the guns work, all that sort of stuff, that would have been a feel that Preston wanted and he put into the game before the new developer came along and refined all the other things like the stores and all of the little items and whatnot. I'm assuming that that's how that is. I might be giving him more credit, but that's what I think is exactly what's going on. Next, he also said, I've also had a lot of personal stuff going on. I'm not trying to dig myself out of a hole. I just want people to understand I'm a human being. I'm not an entity. And this is where I think things get really messy for a lot of these game developers. Roblox players need to realize that the people making these games are people. They are not AAA companies, okay? When a gaming company like Blizzard makes a game like World of Warcraft, they've got 30, 40, sometimes even hundreds of people working on it, whereas most Roblox developers are one person. That's one guy, and you cannot expect the same level of catering as that, or pandering is more the word. You can't expect these developers to get down on their hands and knees and do every single thing that you want yesterday to make you happy, and it is definitely hard to be a Roblox developer. I've run a couple of games. I've helped people run some games. I've been community manager and whatnot. And honestly, it is hard. It is very, very difficult. I mean, saying the whole I've got a lot of personal stuff going on. Yeah, it definitely feels like a pity party. He wants people to feel bad for him. But in the past, Preston has never really done that. He's more been very forthcoming, very steadfast, very direct. When he doesn't like something or when something is going on, usually he will just tell it as it is. So I definitely don't feel like he's trying to play the sympathy card there. And then finally, the last tweet is just the update's being worked on. He's not going to say anything more because the second he gives people information, they want it now instead of waiting. So it looks like previews and stuff like that might be out the door. We might not get previews anymore, which would be really sad. I like it when Big Games or Preston tweets a preview and all of Roblox Twitter gets excited. You know what I mean? All of the content creators retweet it with their opinion, and then all the fans, and I like that part. But obviously, every time that Preston mentions any update, all of the comments are gonna just be release it now. It doesn't even matter if it's not ready. Just release it. I won't play it yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to deal with that, man. That's too much for me. I think in closing, we'll just quickly say, if Preston can get on a weekly update schedule, once he's got, the kinks sorted out, obviously there's been stuff giving him trouble since launch. Once he's got that figured out and he is on a weekly update schedule, I think that Pet Simulator 2 will be really, really popular because the game is gorgeous. The gameplay is exactly what everybody wanted because it's the same as Pet Sim 1, just an upgrade. Most of it is free to play. People can't really complain about that anymore. I just think the game as a whole is going to be amazing. We'll get rainbow pets. We'll get a bunch of new worlds. Hopefully we'll get to that point where you don't have to farm chests constantly, where you're bringing in enough money that you can just open eggs over and over again, because that's what made Pet Sim 1 great, was egg farming for rare pets to show off to your friends. We all know that that's why we play the game. But yeah, guys, I would really like to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. I tried not to be too nice. I tried not to be too mean, but the reality is I understand why people are upset, and I don't understand why some people are going way overboard. I get Preston's position. I hope that he can improve his position and get some updates out. But besides that, all we can do is wait and probably grind a lot of coins for the next update, because again, if you grind when there's a delay, you can be the best when the update comes out, which is kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, in the comment section down below, let me know what you guys think. This is also a very different video for my channel, but right now, I'm just trying a million different things. So leave a like if you enjoyed it, comment down below with your opinion, subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on if you never want to miss an upload, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow with another video.